and issued orders. Electing the president is the most important policy in Nigeria and in any country, because the security and welfare of the whole citizens lie on the shoulder of whoever is the president, because he is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And the issue of security till now is on the exclusive list. So if this is the most important policy, the Supreme Court should assume original jurisdiction so that it doesn't need to go to the Court of Appeal. It goes to Supreme Court, and they should be able to determine it before somebody is sworn in. So presently, the judiciary can subvert the will of the people if they don't deliver justice. But the mere fact that they are not doing it before the person is sworn in, you cannot say that it is illegal. So the mere swearing in of the person before the court finishes is not going to amount to subverting the will of the people. But not delivering justice, whenever you now decide to give the judgment, is what will amount to subverting the will of the people. In the presidential election of 2023, it is obvious that the will of the Nigerian people was subverted. Now, the will of the Nigerian people is simply the sovereignty which the Constitution has said belongs to the people. Section 14(2)(a) is very explicit. If you take it from the subsection 1, it says Nigeria, the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be a state based on the principles of democracy. People always forget the end. When they reach democracy, they thought it has finished. No. Principles of democracy and social justice. Anything done in Nigeria, any democracy done, which is not based on social justice, is not democracy. Now, social justice is the system of how a people organize themselves. Then justice is condition of being fair to all. So when you say social justice, you're talking about organizing your society in a manner that will be fair to all. So our democracy was meant to be a democracy that will be fair to all. And if you get to section 14(2)(a), it says, it is hereby accordingly declared that sovereignty belongs to the people, from whom every government derives its powers and authority. You see? So any government that does not derive all its powers and authority from the people came in subversion of the will of the people. And the way people express or give power to any government in a democracy is by free, fair, and credible election. And that is why to date, the best definition of democracy is the one given by Abraham Lincoln, the former president, if not the best president of the United States of America. And he said, democracy is the government of the people, by the people, for the people. Of the people means that power belongs to the people. That's why one of the qualifications of anybody is that you must be a citizen of Nigeria. That is of the people. Then by the people means that it's the people that will vote the person into power. Then for the people, the government is existing for the security and welfare of the people. And that is why section 2B, subsection 2B of section 14 says the security and welfare of the people is the primary purpose of government. Now, If your government is not derived, or if the power of your government is not derived from the people, the government will not owe the people security and welfare because they don't need the people to come to power. That is why most governments in the world, where the democracy and the will of people is subverted, they are always lacking security. They always lacking welfare. They use the money to feed the godfathers because the source of their power is not from the people, it's from the godfathers. That is why in America, where the vote of the mechanic is as powerful as the vote of the president, whoever is the leader needs to just maintain the welfare of the people and will be sure to become president. But in Nigeria, the people can vote, all of them, and one godfather somewhere will just use a phone call and say, this is the figure you will write. So they will prefer to use all the money they would have used on the people for that godfather. So the only way we can ensure that the security and welfare of the people will start mattering to the people in authority is to ensure that they come to power by the sovereign will of the people, demonstrated only through fair, free, credible, and periodic election. And I give you an example of Ghana. Since Jerry Rawlings introduced free, fair, and credible election in Ghana, their development has started rising. Their prestige in the Committee of Nations has started rising. Look at Kenya. Gradually, as they are getting their acts together in democracy, their development, their prestige, their institutions are getting stronger. But look at Nigeria. We are going down. By May 29, this government is going to bequeath to Nigeria 77 trillion in debt. It's going to bequeath to Nigeria insecurity of people, 518 persons being killed in 6 years in Zango, Kataf alone. It's going to bequeath to you people scarcity of power, scarcity of water, scarcity of fuel. The 4 refineries, none is still working. Yes, the private refinery that was started about 4 years ago, which they are saying the largest in the world, is almost coming to start
and even
working.
NNPC have bought a share in it.
Good. And the 4 refineries, just to repay for 8 years, they are not able. And they have paid more than 30-something trillion, maybe, or 20-something trillion to foreign countries in the name of subsidy for what you're producing, for what you have the refineries. And they have spent billions purporting to repair the refinery, and nothing is working. There's no government on earth that will have that record, that will win election through free and fair election. But it happened in Nigeria. And above all, they want to bequeath a leader who himself needs to be repaired, like our refineries. He will campaign in the 36 states, one day in each state. And after that, he will go abroad and spend 34 days to be repaired. He came back and made 4 public appearances and had to fly back to France to be repaired. So everything the APC government wants to bequeath to Nigeria are the things that needs to be repaired, meaning they ended up destroying. Not one thing they can single out as they have performed well. Our economy is battered, needs to be repaired. The war against corruption is battered, needs to be repaired. Our election now, as far as 2023 election is concerned, is the worst in the history of Nigeria. The most costly, yet the worst. It needs to be repaired. And then the May 29th needs to be repaired. So let me pause for a while so that I can get the contribution of people. So there is no doubt that the will of the Nigerian people has been subverted and is reflecting in every indices of development. More than 33 points, more than 63 persons in Nigeria are poor, suffering from one poverty to the other. No basic nutrition, no basic education, no basic sanitation, no basic employment. So I can go on and on. If you want me to describe, maybe along the time, then other people are asking questions, I will describe to you the procedure which INEC ought to have taken for the election, then the actual procedure they took for you to know that the will of Nigerian people was catastrophically subverted. That is why somebody in Adamawa can stand up when he does not even have the power to do it, to announce a winner and will tell you to go to court. He's borrowing a leave from what happened in February 25th. There's no way he could have had the temerity to do that, if not that he has seen people do it.
Thank you so much, Barrister Kenneth Okonkwo. It's almost looks as if it's sacrilege me trying to even stop you at any time, because you're just flowing. Even the questions that I have, you're answering them as you're going on. And I see a lot of people are quite eager to ask questions from you. There's something you said, which was for me, very incisive, that the most costly, this 2023 election became the most costly election and the worst of it all. And the analogy between the election that took place on February 25th, 2023, and what INEC did at the national level, and also the same thing with what Adamawa did, is so spot on, because it's the same thing that they did. The only thing was that the Adamawa one was more crude, and they, in announcement, that's what we have right now. There are quite a number of hands. Usually we take time out to speak, for you to speak, and then I see a lot of people are eager. So instead of me bringing in my questions, I think I will call on Mama H.O. And before I go on, to say to everybody, on this platform, we respect every opinion, and whatever opinion you want to put forward, please feel free to do it. But in no way with any insults or abuses be tolerated. I had to disable the chat, and we removed someone when he came in with those abusive words. Whether dissenting opinions are beautiful, they give all of us opportunity to be able to look at issues from another perspective, and you can put in your dissenting opinion, whatever it is, without you necessarily having to insult someone or come after someone. So please feel free to do that. If anyone is doing that in a way that it's insulting, on a way that it's attacking, I will mute that person, and then we'll just move on. Also, to say to every one of us that we are going to time this. Normally we give 2 hours, but I see a lot of hands out here. So please go straight to your comment, go straight to your point, and you will have 60 seconds to be able to do that. Let me just quickly put on the timer and be able to have that 60 seconds for one. As soon as the timer goes off, one will be muted. So at this moment, we will take in about 5 questions. We just take them together, and then we'll go over to our guest today to answer those questions. In the meantime, for those who are on YouTube, thank you so much. Please go ahead and kindly share and also like the button, so that other people will be able to get to see that this is going on and join this program right now. It's so educative that every one of us, there will be 1 or 2 things that we'll be able to learn from that. Mama Hecho, go ahead and unmute yourself. Also, try put on your video. I'm trying to see where's the video now to make you. Yes, you're unmuted. Can you put on your video, please?
It says cannot. I guess okay. You stopped me.
Yeah, just hold on a little bit. So, because I want you to, okay, go ahead now and start your, yeah, fantastic. Hey! So before you go on, just hold on a little bit. I will be, spotlighting you, but just to also say that you're going to have a minute. So you quickly put your comments or your this thing together in that 1 minute, because we have quite a number of hands that are coming up. Go ahead. Well done, sis.
Okonkwo, why is your wife living in bondage?
Well, my heart just skipped because I thought she had appeared again.
Oh, it's a great pleasure to meet with you. I thank you for learning law before this Kasala boss. Because if we don't have people like you that have learned law, there will be no definition of law. We have a great things to do together in preparation for 2027. My name is known as Hannah Obukoho, alias Mama H.O. on the internet space. In line with what is going on, I know you guys are going to give us our mandate back. I will be saying, you and Mama Aisha, I'm looking forward to see you in the House of Senate come 2027. Because with your knowledge of law, we need people like you there to help us to correct the impunity and the nonsense that is going on. So be ready to contest. Now, what I won't tell you, Peter. Mama Aisha, they go for governor of Edo State, whether she like it or not. You are going to House of Senate.
Thank you, Mama H.O. You don't talk well. Thank you so much. I had to. So the 1 minute is up. So you've heard that one, and I totally agree with her. Barrister, we need you in the Senate. So we'll work towards that in 2027. And just to add to what she has just said before I go to the next person, who is Salisu Ahmed, is the fact that how do I put it now? The legislative arm of government, it's a bedrock of democracy, and most times we do not focus on it as citizens of this nation. We are just carried away. We are doing other things, and so we need to have people in the legislative arm of government that do understand what governance is all about, that are patriotic, and we do everything they can to be there. The legislative arm of government, for those of you who are regular here, you've heard me mention that a lot. They make laws, they have oversight function, they hold executive accountable. They ratify treaties and all of that, and they even confirm appointments. Most of the people that we have as REC at INEC, the resident electoral commissioner, I think that's the full meaning of that acronym REC. Some of them have been found to be partisan. Some of them were once card-carrying members, and guess who? Is the National Assembly that confirms them. Without they confirming, the president, the executive will not be able to do a lot of the things they do. So we need a lot of people getting into that legislative arm of government. And if we really want to change Nigeria, we have to focus on the legislative arm of government. Little by little, begin to change it. There are a lot of by-elections that go on. A lot of, whether House of Assembly, House of Representatives, Senate, they all come up. Can we all begin to work together? Anywhere these by-elections are coming up, we will go there, ensure that people with competence, character, capacity, and are patriotic about Nigeria get into office. You heard what Mr. Barrister Okonkwo said earlier, in the fact that yes, if the law had said that before anyone is sworn in, all electoral petition, every issue must be done with, then May 29th, swearing someone in will be subverting the will of the people. But because the law is silent on that, it doesn't prohibit that, so it's okay. So we need people that will go in and make laws that are for Nigeria. So that's an assignment that has been given to you, Barrister Kenneth Okonkwo. So Salisu Ahmed, go ahead please and unmute yourself. Remember also that you have 1 minute, and immediately your 1 minute is done, I will put you on mute. So please forget the greetings, forget anything, just go straight to the point, because there are quite a number of people who do really want to speak. So go ahead, Salisu Ahmed.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, can you start your video, please?
Please, it is time for Maghrib prayer. I will join you guys after I have observed my Maghrib prayer.
Okay, then. Noted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. For those of you who do not get it, Maghrib prayers, that's the fourth prayer of the day, usually at 7 p.m. So in Nigeria, they would be observing that, and so he's going off for that. Joe Williams, I think you will come on now. So Joe Williams, go ahead and unmute yourself. And also start your video, please. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, good evening, Aisha.
Good evening.
And good evening, my brother Kenneth.
Good evening, sir.
Don't call me sir. Please, I just heard today that the Labour Party said they need 7 weeks to present their witnesses and everything. Does it mean, can they start from, because I heard that the issue of double nomination, Shitima had, it's a problem. And also the 25% in Abuja. Does it mean we can't, or you people can't start from there? At least so as to stop this man from being inaugurated? Must we have to wait for the 7 weeks that the Labour Party asked for? Because we are all worried and rattled. And this is what we don't want. Nobody wants this. And it's about to happen. Even I heard today that they said the mobile phones won't be allowed from Monday. How come all this? Please, just let us try to give us something. If we need to hope on something. We need to have something to encourage us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much on that. We'll quickly go to the next person. Let me see who that next person is. Paul. So go ahead and unmute yourself, please, Paul.
Good evening. My name is Paul. I just want to ask a question. This we know that these people will be sworn in on the 29th of May. And we know the way the Nigerian situation is. What they are waiting for is that after swearing in, they are going to scatter everything. They are going to destabilize our party, as they're already doing more now. So what are the plans in place? Because many of those that will go to the Senate and other House of Assembly, many of them will be either cajoled to join them, or even incentivize or set up, because they're going to scatter everything, do everything, because they are not in the.
So give us the question. Your time is almost up. You say what are in place? In place for what? Give us that question.
That is the question. The question is, by May 29, once if following up.
But you have 6 seconds. If you explain, it's going to be over, and I have to cut you off.
So what are we going to do when they start after May 29? Because everybody is broken.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. So please, just to add a bit, please, just for whoever is speaking, try and get the question done. Let's have the question, and then you can explain why you are asking that question or where you are coming from. Otherwise, while you're doing the explaining, we don't get to hear the question. And you can see our guest in the house is writing these things down and putting the questions down. Winston, please, can you go ahead and unmute yourself? Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Please, my question is, I'm actually worried about INEC refuse to release their this thing to Labour Party. Their, what do they call it? The electoral material they called to order them to give to Labour Party. According to Labour Party, they have not gotten up to 70% of it. And my question is actually, what is Labour Party doing since INEC refused to release it to them? And Parliamentary INEC actually refused to release it to them. The little one they have, is it enough to prove in court that they actually want to know that Labour Party won that election?
Okay, thank you so much, Wisdom. Barrister, would you want me to take 1 or 2 more, or will you answer these ones now?
You can take 1 more.
Okay, so let me look at the list. Who is the next person? Did I take Prince Will now? Let me lower the hands. If you've spoken, please just lower your hand so that I'm not. I think Prince Will. I'm confused now. Prince Lee, did I take you? Okay, you said no. Okay, go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, Prince Will.
Okay, I'm asking, how are we going to stop the inauguration on that 29th of this month? Because the laws categorically said that they are going to finish everything before the swearing in. But now we are still having pending issues in court, and they're talking about swearing in. What is the way forward about that? 29th of this month.
Thank you so much, Prince Will. And I love the way you put forth your question. You put the question before you started explaining, and you still explain, and there's still time. But I think you came a bit late because our guests in the house actually touched on that. But anyway, over to him. He will do justice for that. And for every one of us, please carry your pen, your pencil, your constitution, your electoral act. If you have them somewhere, bring them all together. I think today we are in for a learning session. So it's not only a guest today, he's also our lecturer today. And the floor is yours. Our teacher today. Well done.
First of all, I want to accuse Aisha of partiality.
Okay.
Because the first person that talked said she was going to contest for the governorship and said, I am going to contest government in Enugu. And then she did not talk on her own. And now she now talks, she talked on my own and said she's coming to support me. Me, I am, he called you first, I'm supporting you first. So, that's why the law says you shouldn't be a judge in your own cause. You see the way she was partial? They moved her own case. Okay. That's by the way.
Yeah.
Now, Joe Williams said the LP demanded for 7 weeks. Then why can't they go into the issues one after the other? So ordinarily, you don't do like that in law. There would not have been anything bad about that. But I'm going to be as simple as possible to explain this to you. It is not every law that is breached that will end in giving you all you have asked for. Let me give you an example. The issue of 25% in the Federal Capital Territory. If the law, assuming finally is interpreted to say you must get 25% before you are declared a winner. Now, anybody that did not get 25%, it doesn't mean the person is disqualified. It means there will be a runoff. So if you take that one alone now and say you want to do that, court determine this one. Assuming the court say, yes, Tinubu and Shetima, they are disqualified. Their votes are wasted votes. Then who will the court declare winner? The court will still need to look into the evidence to know who are the people that they will declare winner amongst the remaining people. So the court will now sit down and say, instead of taking it one, they will look at the whole evidence together. So that if we say Tinubu, Shetima, they are not qualified, take them out, then who scored the majority votes? Who scored the highest votes? Did the person meet the requirement of 25% in 24 states and the FCT, meaning 25, but I always call it 24 plus 1 because we believe that the FCT is compulsory. So the court will now determine this thing among the remaining candidates. So it is looking into the other evidence. If P2B is saying I scored more than Atiku, they rigged me here, the court will now check and say if it is true, they will add it to him. And if his own is more, that is when they will now declare him president. So there is no way you can single out one, because the consequences of the breach is different. You must look at all of them in totality. When you are proving the case of the presidential election, it's a Herculean task because you're supposed to present evidence in every place that you're saying that there was manipulation. You have 176,000 and more polling units. You have to go through all these things, and you have to single out all the places that you believe that they stole your election. You have to do all the mathematics. You have to get the witnesses that will help you to prove all these things, including expert witnesses. Because we went into ICT, BVAS, National Electronic Register of Election Results, back-end server. I just told Aisha, my sister, that you're improving, in ICT. Then you can imagine when people are looking at 176,000 polling units. So it's a very Herculean task, which I don't wish my greatest enemy. And that is why we must talk about free and fair election. So when you say 7 weeks, just look at it. Talk about 50 witnesses. 50 witnesses, when you come to court, you will lead your own witness, evidence in chief, which might take up to 30 minutes. Then the other people will cross-examine. Then the other people will re-examine. And you have about 4 respondents. Each person will cross-examine. And you will re-examine 4 different respondents. So before you know it, one witness is taking almost 2 hours. So these things are not straightforward as you think. They are not easy as you think. We are the ones who do not want to waste time. That is why we are saying 7 weeks. We could, if we do it in less than 7 weeks, fine. We'll close our case. And the other people will bring in their own case. But we do not want to say 1 week, 2 weeks. And by then, we need more time. So this is what is involved. I hope I've been able to answer the question of Joe Williams. Now, Paul, you also talked about mobile phones not allowed. It's embarrassing because we're talking about live streaming of the election. And like I said, if you read your constitution very well, section 36, subsection 3, made it mandatory that our courts should be sitting in the public. What we have in Nigeria is courts, not cults. What we have is C-O-U-R-T, not C-U-L-T. It is only cults that sit in secrecy. And cult is even abolished in our constitution as illegal. If you're a member of a cult group or a secret society, you're not qualified to be a politician. So when they start running our courts as cults, we have problems. And that's why most things are shredded in secrecy, lack of transparency. We need to live stream. What is anybody hiding? They say our court should sit in public. Section 36, subsection 3. You have your constitution, check it. So it's actually a denial of rights to Nigerian people that they will not sit in their houses and watch the proceeding. You see, this government has been denying us everything. They said they're going to transmit our results in real time, the same day, from the polling units, and everybody will know what is going on. Why would they deny us again? The same day, from the court to the viewing pleasure of Nigerian people, so that they will follow up. If they will not do that, then let them throw the court open to 200 million Nigerians to come and listen to it live. And they must provide accommodation that they will be seeing the judges live. Oh, yes. So I agree with you. There is a need for live streaming. That is the application we made, which we were embarrassed that INEC is actually one of the people opposing it. Very embarrassing. So that is about when they now say mobile phones will not be allowed. That one is another embarrassing decision. Why am I saying it? We have been fighting that the judges should stop writing on longhand so that technology will come in. So they'll be using technology, record, then so that they won't be writing. It will be recorded, video, and all those things. They will just go home, watch through the proceedings, and take their decision. And now they want us to join them in longhand. One thing about Nigeria is that instead of going forward, they are going backward, just to make sure that the right thing is not done. So I agree with you. We need to live stream. They will need to allow mobile phones to be in the courts. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be. Now, Mr. Paul was talking about they will scatter our party. Well, what are we going to do after May 29? You know, why Nigeria has not become good is because of complacency of the opposition. It's not because of the violence of the bad people. It's because of the silence of the good ones. If opposition sell out to the ruling party and they are not providing good opposition, both of them are guilty. Both of them are corrupt. That is the issue. So what we are going to do is, they will attempt. Yes. We should resist as we're doing now. Well, they just took light. So I'm asking for a stand down for about 5 minutes because they just took the light now so that they can put on the gen.
No, they wanted to remind you that that the good governance, accountability, and transparency that you're fighting for, it's very legitimate, and that and for you to keep doing what you're doing. So this is what happened. This is what in a lot of countries, it's something that it's not seen as normal, but it has been normalized in our country. As in, when you're doing something, light goes off, nobody is moved. It's the normal thing. We are our own government. He's also his minister of minister of power, because he has to provide power in his house and all of that. These are things that, you know, they are abnormal, but unfortunately we have been conditioned to accept these things as normality. And these are the things that we'll continue to stand for, continue to fight against, and ensure that we have a country that works for every one of us. It's really been an interesting conversation, as we all have been saying it out here. And I see for those of you that have your videos on, I can see the reaction that are coming in from there. A court case is not something that, oh, you just do it. It's not emotional. Court cases are all based on evidence before the court. And one of the things that we must never do, and anyone who wants to win a case do, is to jeopardize your own case. Just go to court just to start with something. What if that something doesn't go through? So getting those evidence that needs to be done. And I think there is a question here that we get our guests in the house to answer on the why is INEC still delaying? What has INEC done? So you have all of these other cases there. In terms of the like the Abuja 25%, that is based on interpretation of the court, and you do not want a situation whereby the courts, you do not want a situation whereby the courts will rule. We have its own interpretation and say that this is it, because if it's done, it's done. And these are the things that we must understand, that look, if you go into this case and you don't have a tight case there, you don't have all your evidence before the court, if at the end of the day any ruling is done, what normally would happen is that look, it's done, and that's it. You can't come back and guess, oh, I've gotten this thing that I want to put in out there. So it's very important for us to just understand, yes, I feel the anger, yes, I feel the passion, yes, I feel how people are all hyped up about this, but one of the things we must also constantly remember is that this is based on cold, hard evidence, nothing else. It doesn't require any other thing. It doesn't require our emotions and all of that. It doesn't require us getting angry. It just requires us sitting down, strategizing, calculating, putting everything out there. Don't allow your emotions get over you. Don't allow that, the passion and everything to go on. It's to take this thing one after the other and overwhelm the court with the evidence that the court will have no reason not to do the needful. And I love the way the court, the law team, the legal team have been going on about it, just ensuring that there is nothing on which technicalities will be based. And one of the things we know is that of all the candidates right now that are out there, one of them that has been very successful in the courts and have the expertise from the part of a beneficiary is actually Mr. Peter Obi himself and his legal team. They are putting in everything, ticking all the dots, checking all the places that the boxes that need to be checked, and those things are very important. Let me go on to see our co-host. Is our co-host back now? Are you ready? Okay, fantastic.
I'm back. You see.
Okay. Welcome back.
Thank
Minister
you.
Of power. You don't go take care of the power. That's it. Because everyone, you are minister of power. You have to be minister of health. You have to be minister of roads and work. Because even in the estates we live in, you're always having to contribute money for roads to be done, for this to be done. I mean, it's just so crazy. All of these things. But anyway,
good.
We get that Nigeria that works for everyone. Welcome.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Thank you. This is what I'm saying. Why would we not resist? What are you gaining from the government that is not giving you power, not giving you water, not giving? As a matter of fact, every house is almost becoming independent. So we must come out as one in this our quest and journey for a new Nigeria. Having said that, sorry for the breakup in transmission. Maybe before I leave here, I will not be able to count the title I'm going to take. So the latest one, Minister of Power. To God be the glory. So, so Paul, you were talking about how they have a plan to scatter our party. No, they did not even wait until after May 29. They have already started. Are you not seeing some court judgments which even elementary school lawyer cannot give? A court will sit down and tell you that the whole candidates of Labour Party, that all their votes are wasted votes. A court in Kanu. And he is delivering the judgment based on Section 77 of the Electoral Act. Shamefully too. Because Section 77 only told you about membership register, how every party should have register, and how they must submit it to INEC 30 days to the time. And the reason they brought up that issue is so that any party that wants to do direct primary, INEC, that is supposed to be a commission inspecting it.
Would you want me to read the Section 77?
Can somebody read it?
Yeah, I can go ahead and read it.
You can go straight to subsection 3. But
okay,
if you like, you can read the whole 77 so that Electoral Act, not Constitution.
No, yeah, Electoral Act.
Go ahead.
Okay. So here, Section 77 of the Electoral Act 2022 says, 1, a political party registered under this act shall be a body corporate with perpetual succession and a common seal, and may sue and be sued in its corporate name. And then we have 2. Subsection 2 says, every registered political party shall maintain a register of its members in both hard and soft copy. And then we have subsection 3 of Section 77 of the Electoral Act 2022 says, each political party shall make such register available to the commission not later than 30 days before the date fixed for the party primaries, congress, or convention. Thank you.
That's all. Did you see anywhere they say any party that did not present that there will be punishment on them?
No, there was none. It was silent.
Good. So there is no, the the bench, the judiciary has no power whatsoever to make any law. Even if you commit a crime and there is no provision for punishment, that crime is unenforceable. Go and check every charge. You must see the punishment section. If it is not in that charge is defective and thrown away. Now, a judge sat down, not an election tribunal, and is issuing orders affecting candidates that we are not made parties to the suit. A judge sat down and said, by the provision of this thing you have just read, that Labour Party did not submit the register 30 days to the time, which was a lie. A lie. But because we did not have representation, this case started 11th of May. 11th. And within 1 week, 2 weeks, they're giving judgment. How were we represented? How were all the candidates represented? In Kanu, let me tell you what will shock you. We already know that such judgment was coming because the people, those politicians of fortune, the traders in politics that took the case there, they were already boasting that was going to be the judgment. Now, this judge is not election tribunal. Like we have gone to election tribunal because we are a party that say we will uphold the rule of law no matter what. We could have as well gone to a court to get an ex parte motion, an ex parte order to stop them from swearing in this man. Because that is what they did in the Federal High Court of Abuja. When some group of people who are not even from the ward of the national chairman purportedly suspended, they came to High Court here, bringing allegations. Allegations are like gossip until it is proved against the national chairman. And the court issued an order that he should stop functioning, which would have been exactly the same thing that if somebody went to court and brought allegations against Tinubu, which even has been proved in the United States, that is a drug baron. He committed perjury and this, and bring it to a court and say, you can't swear this man in. You have to restrain it. That's exactly the same thing that happened. I wonder why Labour Party and PDP have not done the same. If APC say that is correct, that if a court will restrain you or make criminal allegation, no court has found you guilty, then the person they have found guilty, the court should restrain the person from being sworn in. So you can see when they are introducing impunity, they don't know that they are hanging themselves. It's not supposed to be the law, but just for you to know, as they are targeting labor, they are exposing themselves. Because I have made up my mind, I will be honest. I will tell you the position of the law. They can go to Kanu to use a statute. In election matters, anything that happened in primary is called pre-election. You must bring it to court 14 days after the primary by section 285 of the Constitution. So in the main election, that is when you take to tribunal. The pre-election, you can take to courts. The main election, you will take to tribunal. And you must do it within 21 days. So this court now that starts, that say all our candidates wasted votes. You have just seen the section, that section alone, without hearing from the other party, without hearing from any of the candidates, without serving them. And it is not an election matter because you don't have any locus again to bring any case against anybody who has been given certificate of return if you did not do it 14 days after the primary or 21 days after the main election. So you can see Jankara judgment. So the attack has already started. It did not wait. They've already purchased some people. Can't you see them going about claiming what they are not? Political impostors, clowns. They say they are leadership of the party. And they will lie that court said, And those people lying in that court said are not even a party to the suit. So it has already started. The only thing that will save us is resistance, eternal vigilance, coming out to say no. If not that we came out to say no, to resist, do you think they would have given us any state? They did not intend to allocate any state to LP at all. They purposely made us to have third, so that they would think if we have third, we'll be saying, no, since we didn't have second. Why is it that it is us that they say we have third, that they are buffeting from everywhere? Why?
Yeah.
So the attack has already started. Why can they allow us to pursue our case? We did not go for violence. Yet, they are using every means illegal against us. So we must continue to resist. We must continue to be vigilant. We must continue not to allow ourselves to be sold to them because they are willing to buy. They have all the stolen money with them. Can you imagine in Abia State? We won. Can you imagine in Enugu State? We won. They took the whole results. What has Abuja to do with what is happening in the state? And when they came to Abuja, they now made a decision. If we don't give these people even one state, there will be trouble. They now say, let's leave Abia for them. But let us take Enugu State. The Abia, you can see, even the woman, the wreck, say, my conscience as a mother and as a pastor will not allow me to declare what I know is fake and wrong. The man in Enugu State, he said, I am compelled by the authority in Abuja to announce this result. I don't know what is in it. When my sister Aisha was saying that exactly what happened in Adamawa is what happened, it is exactly the same thing. The only thing is that the Adamawa people resisted because you have the right to arrest anybody who is committing crime in your face. They resisted and they wanted to arrest the man, which is what the right thing they should do. But look at in Enugu State. They compelled the man. People in Abuja that were not part of the people that voted brought a result, saw overvoting. Instead of cancelling it, they reduced it to the level that will just guarantee that PDP, whose candidate is a forger of certificates, the DG of NYSC came out to say, this man, you forged this certificate. It's not from us. And they went to the same court for a court to give an interim injunction that they should not use certificates as evidence. You see, impunity. That is why we are saying this old order of impunity, illegality, corruption, and criminality must go. They must go. And if we do not send them away, they will send Nigeria away from this earth. No nation can succeed with criminality, with corruption, with illegality, with impunity, with absolute secrecy. It becomes a cult society. So what I'm saying is that you're right. You're saying waiting till May 29. No, the attack has already started from land, from sea, from air, from beneath the earth. And as they're attacking, God is going to neutralize them in Jesus' name. Inshallah. So,
amen.
Coming to
that. Okay, you have more questions you haven't covered?
Yes. Wisdom.
Okay, then fine. Yes.
Wisdom said he's worried about INEC refusing to give LP evidence. Can we prove our election? My dear, we are more worried than you. An INEC that was able to announce a result they didn't have. Because if you had the result you announced, it's easy to give now. Because announcing a result means that you have it. You don't give what you don't have. How can you announce a result and you're not able to give it? More than going to 2 weeks. We went to court. Court said, give them result now. They need it. You said you announced. Yes, they couldn't. They had to blackmail the court that if we do not reconfigure the beavers, we won't be able to conduct governorship election. And the court is like, let it not be that it is us that is stopping these people from conducting election. And court gave them the order. And yet, they postponed the governorship election. You see how they blackmail? If they had postponed the election, court wouldn't have given them the order. But they went to court and told the court, you see, this election is almost in 3 days' time, 5 days' time. If we don't reconfigure the beavers, in a result, you said you have announced. Meanwhile, the position of the law is that before you even collate, you already have this result in the electronic register. It's called National Electronic Register of Election Result. My sister Aisha, please, can you read for me, if you have the act? Section 62, subsections 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Good. So in section 60, it's about counting and announcing in the polling unit and transferring. Section 62 is about it has to be in an electronic register. And the CTC, you would have to give to everybody. Then it is when you are coming to section 65 that you begin to talk about collation and declaring a winner.
Okay.
So if you can read, go ahead.
So you want me to read from 1 to 3?
It is, yes, it has 3 subsections.
Yes. Okay.
You can read.
Section 62 of the Electoral Act 2022 is talking about post-election procedure and collation of election results. Subsection 1 says, after the recording and announcement of the results, the presiding officer shall deliver same along with election materials under security and accompanied by the candidates or their polling agents where available to such person as may be prescribed by the commission. That's subsection 1. Subsection 2 says, the commission shall compile, maintain, and update on a continuous basis a register of election results to be known as the National Electronic Register of Election Results, which shall be a distinct database or repository of polling units by polling unit results, including collated election results of each election conducted by the Commission in the Federation. And the register of election results shall be kept in electronic format by the Commission at its national headquarters. Subsection 3 says, any person or political party may obtain from the Commission on payment of such fees as may be determined by the Commission a certified true copy of any election result kept in the National Electronic Register of Election Results for the state, local government, area council, registration area, or electoral ward or polling unit, as the case may be, and the certified true copy may be in printed or electronic format. That's it.
Look at that's the law. It is not, I did not read it from my Electoral Act. So there's no forge here. Good. So before INEC should talk about declaring a winner, INEC would have had that. Every Nigerian who wished to have it would have had that. But you see, it was not there. You know why? The election they declared is not the genuine election. Going to almost 2 weeks, they could not give us the CTC. Election petition that is now 3 months. 3 months, they're not able to give us the 70%. Go to the beavers, go to their server, go to the IREV, where they said you must upload the scanned hard copy of EC8A. That is the election result. It is there. More than 18,000 polling units are obscured. A lot mutilated. Telling you that the results INEC announced, they wanted to now take the mutilated result inside their system. So it is choking them. The Rivers State has choked them, the whole world. Even BBC has told the whole world that the ruling party did not win in Rivers State. It's Mago. Same thing in Benue. Same thing in a lot of states. So we are simply saying, obey the law, which you made. Ironically, it was INEC that went to tell the National Assembly, to tell Nigerians, we need this law to be amended so that we can give you free and fair election. And Nigerians fought. Let there be electronic transmission of result. And we got it. When they made the first amendment, no electronic transmission, we told the president, don't sign it. The president did not sign it until they went back, amended it. We told the president, whatever is remaining, please don't mind, sign it. That with this electronic invention, we're going to have free and fair election. Look at what happened. That's why I said it's the most costly, because it is that electronic element that was the most costly. You know, purchasing beavers in 176,000 per units. You know, you have to get people to be trained to man it. Getting the server, getting the IRF portal, getting experts. INEC under Professor Mahmoud took money, and the government gave them all the money they demanded. And then on that day, they boycotted. No result was transmitted from the polling units on that day. Because we all saw the election in Edo, where my sister is from. Obasanjo would have been in his village now, if not for beavers. Beavers has not even, we're not even talking about beavers. INEC invented IREV. They invented it before even the electronic transmission. It was IREV that saved Obasanjo from the ruling party. And Obasanjo won. Why? Before they finish collation, the whole results were already on IREV, the hard copy. Everybody has it. So everybody has calculated it. And the word collation center, when you get there, before you calculate and finish, the law says you must compare it with the one in the electronic register. You cannot collect and announce without having the register by your side, the electronic one, which we have just read. And when you're collating, you'll be checking to know whether it is right. And if it is not right, you use the one in the electronic register. INEC did not have the electronic register at all. And my sister Aisha, you can read for us Electoral Act 65, subsection 4.5, section 65, subsection 4.5. If you can read it, so that the people will know how the will of the Nigerian people was subverted.
Okay, we are going to, you said section 64, subsection 4.5. So section
64, 65.
Huh?
65.
Okay, 65.
No, 64.
Okay.
64, subsection 4 and...
Okay, fantastic. Section 64 of the Electoral Act 2022 is talking about the endorsement on rejected ballot paper without official mark. And we have subsection 4 says, a collation officer or returning officer at an election, sorry, let me read that again. A collation officer or returning officer at an election shall collate and announce the result of an election, subject to his or her verification and confirmation that the A, number of accredited voters stated on the collated results are correct and consistent with the number of accredited voters recorded and transmitted directly from polling units under Section 47, subsection 2 of this Act. Do you need me to go to 47?
No, just,
Okay.
it's just telling you that you can go to 47 so that people will know. That,
Okay, so because we are
it's just
here
saying
to
you
learn. So under 47, subsection 2 says,
Yes.
to vote, the presiding officer shall use a smart card reader or any other technological device that may be prescribed by the Commission for the accreditation of voters to verify, confirm, or authenticate the particulars of the intending voter in the manner prescribed by the Commission. So that's what 47 is talking about.
Yes.
So B of subsection 4 says, the votes stated on the collated result are correct and consistent with the votes or results recorded and transmitted directly from polling units under Section 60, subsection 4 of this Act.
Good.
Then 5.
Go ahead.
Subsection 5 of Section 64 of the Electoral Act 2022 says, subject to subsection 1, a collation officer or returning officer shall use the number of accredited voters recorded and transmitted directly from polling units under Section 47, subsection 2 of this Act, and the votes or results recorded and transmitted directly from the polling unit under Section 60, subsection 4 of this Act to collate and announce the result of an election if a collated result at his or a lower level of collation is not correct.
Good.
That's
you see what I told you?
Fine.
Good. Now, in order not to waste time, the subsection 6 of that section 64 is telling that if there is dispute, as in the manual and electronic shall supersede. So now, the INEC, as at the time they were collecting and announcing their manually generated, corrupted, misguided, mutilated figures, they did not even have electronic register. They did not even have anyone, beavers. So for you to know why they are having problem giving us the CTC. So everything about the 2023 election, especially presidential election, was a mess by the law. So they did not follow any procedure. It was a sham. Nigerians, we are saying, where is it on IREV? Where is it on this? Remember there was a technical glitch. Which glitch? You had 3 elections: the Senate, the House of Rep, and the President. And then the Senate was going, House of Rep was going, then the President only was not going. And you're saying glitch. If there is glitch, wouldn't it affect all? Beavers did its accreditation very well. Nobody complained. And yet you're saying there's a glitch. No, there was no glitch. What you had was deliberate manipulation of the electoral process in order to declare fake results so that they can illegally and criminally announce their preferred candidate as winner. That's all. So that's the question about the person that said is worried about INEC refusing us. Yes, they are refusing because they want to cover up their illegality and criminality. That's all. Because what are you hiding? The law says you should give. Why are you wasting time? So if they are not giving because they did not do the right thing and they want to cover their tracks. That's all. Then can we prove it in election? That's why we are compelling them to bring. There are many other ways you can get your evidence, but it is more Herculean. Even if you have your evidence, the most straightforward evidence you can have when it has to do with public documents is either the original or certified true copies of the original. So INEC is doing everything, putting stumbling blocks on our way. to prove our case. But we are believing God that they will be compelled to bring the results they have. And you know, later on, they started uploading in IREV, crooked, very crude, very uncivilized manipulation that has already gone in. That was why they were buying for all those time. Because if it is the result you have announced, with that you have it from the polling units, you will give it. Did they not give people in Edo, in Ondo, in Anambra? They did it in Ekiti. You all saw it. So they are making it difficult for us to prove. So we must continue to put pressure on them, and we must continue to insist they will be transparent. We have made an application to INEC, and we are expecting them to do the needful because we made the announcement in court. Ordinarily, the true position of the Evidence Act is that if there is an information which is in your care and which only you can provide, and you refuse to provide it, there is a presumption that when that evidence is brought, it is going to work against you. That is why you're not providing it. So the court will take judicial notice that if they don't provide it, it means that it is because they have done wuru-wuru, which will be against their stand, and that's why they are doing it. Then we'll start doing the legal work that will help us to prove our case. So by the grace of God, we are watching events. I believe that with God's help, we will still prove our case. And you know, it is not only, we're not coming only with their manipulation in the election, which we'll call, he did not score the majority of the lawful votes. And then the election is invalid due to non-compliance with the Electoral Act, the rules and guidelines, and the Constitution. It's not only that. We still have he's not qualified at all, and we still have the constitutional provision, the 25%. We still have the criminal activity of drug carrying, which is against Section 137, subsection 1D of the Constitution. If you have done anything that is criminal and a court has found you guilty, you're not supposed to be qualified to contest. If my sister wants, she can read Section 137, 1D of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the whole world to hear it. Then the one of the FCT is Section 134, 2B of the Constitution. It's very clear, stated, you must get 25% in FCT in Abuja. They did not get it, and yet they were declared. Then the issue of double nomination is there, very clear. I think Section 35 or 34 of the Electoral Act. You have double nomination, but disqualified. So these are the constitutional provisions. So we still have them, and we have the evidence, written evidence on those ones. So if my sister wants to read these sections, she can read. If we can go on, we'll go on. Then Prince Will talked about how are we going to stop the swearing in. Like my sister Aisha said, if you were here before now, you would have known what I said. We are a law-abiding party. The law did not make provision to stop somebody before the court decides otherwise. But there are some people who are in court. You can go to court to seek for interpretation. The court has the jurisdiction to interpret any section. They can say he was wrongly declared. He should not be sworn in. Assuming you go to court to interpret that FCT section, assuming only interpretation. The court, which is not a tribunal, which is not a this, ordinary court, seeking for interpretation. There is a difference between you're seeking for interpretation of the Constitution and that you're going for election tribunal. The interpretation that they went to do in Kanu, you can see there's no provision for disqualification in that section. But if you go to the provision of 134 2B, then 137 1D, and all those ones, especially 134, which has to do with if you don't have 25%, the court can interpret it. But it will not declare anybody winner. It will not declare anybody loser. You can only say this person should not be sworn in. Why? He was wrongly declared. As in, look, then they'll begin to do the legal, do you have local standing, this and that, this and that. So the courts would have to decide that. So that's about Prince Will. For now, except the court says otherwise, you cannot stop the swearing in.
Thank you.
And that's the position. Thank you.
I think that's the last of those questions that we're supposed to take. You've taken them all. Thank you so much. Before we go, I think Pastor Blessing, thank you so much for staying on so patiently. You will be the next, and you've really been on for a long time. So I think I'm going to give you 2 minutes for your patience in just staying on all this while to listen. But before I go on, I just want to say something. For those of you, I'm sure for those who know me very well, would have known that for a bit when I was reading the act that our guest, my brother Kenneth Okonkwo, had asked me to act, I wasn't really myself. I was a bit thrown because there was something that was on my mind. And I'm always the kind of person that my inside must match what my outside. I don't know, as I get older, my Edo accent is coming out more and more and more. Anyway, I just got out like, what's that? But anyway, that's the kind of person I am. So when my inside is not matching, it's thrown off. I'm not flowing. And so this is it. I'm going to say this right now. And it's really quite heinous, and it's really very unethical. I find it very unwholesome when people try to do things in an underhand manner. For example, this particular program is being streamed on live on YouTube by another channel. And I felt all you needed to do was just ask. Just ask me, Aisha, we want to stream it. Fantastic. It's a beautiful thing because we want as many people to see it, and we want many people to see it and learn from it. It's a learning opportunity. But there's something unethical when you not try to erase everything that someone has done. You erase the fact that this is coming from Zoom, YouTube, everything of our name, and just impose your own name as if you're the one who is doing it. It's really unethical. It's not good. You don't grow that way. And for me, all you needed to do was just to ask. And you try to erase somebody else's work just because you want to get whatever benefit or whatever it is that comes from there. You impose your name. It's not nice. And for me, I'm the kind of person, I know they keep something in. I've already sent a message to that particular person, but I needed to say it out for me to free my mind and go back and concentrate on the work that I'm doing. Please, 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 whatever we're doing, little things matter. Sometimes we don't get to understand what things, the little things that matter in life. They do matter. What you need to do it doesn't take anything. Just say to the person, hey, we want to stream live what you're doing on our own channel. And when you're doing it, what does it harm you to say that, oh, we are getting this from this channel, we are getting this from the live, is from Live with Aisha. You don't erase it and put it in your own thing. How do you want to grow in that way? There's no way. But anyway, that having been said, I said that because I really needed to clear my mind, because me, my own, I get big mouth. As a day for inside my belly, and so I carry and come on. But after that, I'm good. So, Pastor Blessing, thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for staying on. So I'm going to bring you. Let me add you to so that you and Ken are going to do the gist. And I think what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to allow you speak, and then let our guest, Mr. Ken Okonkwo, answer your question. Then we move on to the to other questions. Go ahead.
Thank you, Ken, for all the briefing. Thank you so much for all the briefing. I'm speaking from the Virgin Islands. The question I want to ask quickly is, now that Julius Abure has been reinstated legally as the substantive chairman of Labour Party, what are you people doing in Labour Party to remove or replace Apapa as a deputy national chairman, seeing that he had a grounds to launch an attack on you? What are you people doing immediately to replace him? You know, as much as you have exposed him, how much have you done to replace him using the internal mechanism of the Labour Party? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And it shows you're following events. And I always like it when islands are virgin, because, you know, it shows that good people are there a lot. I don't like to go to Snake Island. When I was young, when I heard Snake Island, I think, you know, snakes are everywhere. But I would like to go to Virgin Island because everybody will be a virgin. So, well, you know, thank God you know that the man has been removed. And, you know, we like to follow due process. It is only the National Executive Council that should replace him. And, you know, when you want to do this thing the first time, your aim is not to punish somebody or to, let me use the word, victimize. So you give the person opportunity. That's why you start with suspending, to know whether the person will repent. You know, we must all understand that just like a father that has a child, if the child is misbehaving, even though you'll be scolding the child, but we will still love the child. Honestly, I would have loved myself. You'll be shocked to know that one of those people, I'm not talking about the renegade, the one you talked. I'm not the one you called the name. Honestly, we have never sat down with him one-on-one to talk. This is a man whose only achievement is that he said he led the opening prayer in Asaba Convention. That's the only achievement he can lay his hand. So how can I know such a person? He's a wasted everything. But one of it, person that is younger, I mediated and wanted to, like, you know, do something to make sure that there is peace. But you see, you cannot make peace with people whose only aim is to make money, because that is their article in trade. They are politicians of fortune and convenience. They are looking for money. So even if there is no crisis, they will generate one, because that is what will make them attractive to the people that are paying them. So there's no amount of peace, except you can give them that bribe of money. So that's what they're looking for. And they will still come back to blackmail you. And you know, we don't give bribe. We don't give shishi. He even said, one of them said it in the national television when I was talking with him, debating with him. He said, Obi did not give them money. If somebody is saying that, then that means that he goes to where he will get money. So there is nothing like trying now to say you want to make peace with them, because the only thing they need is money. And some people are already paying them. So your question is that, what are we doing to replace him? Now that we have known that they are incorrigibly bad, you can't begin to want to distract yourself when you're focusing all your energy on the petition. God has already disgraced them and punished them. All their efforts to truncate our presidential petition, because that was their target. And we said it before to the whole world. And they thought we were trying to say something. But they carried it out. The man they brought to court, according to them, to know whether they can break into the case. The case started on the 8th of May. You didn't see them. On the 10th of May, you didn't see them. On the 17th of May, instead of sneaking into the court and going to sit down, because it's a public place, they came with the aggression. They were the ones who started aggression. It's not as if they came to court and maintained themselves and anybody wanted to embarrass them. They came in and started shouting that they must sit in the seat meant for Labour Party. And when that they are Labour Party, let me tell you what the Constitution of Labour Party says. In Article 13.3a, NWC is made up of 34 members. And by virtue of Article 23, you must have 1/3 of the members of any organ to have a quorum to have a meeting. Haven't you seen that all the people that are parading themselves, that they are doing all this case, they are not more than 4? All the people that go on TV to represent them, how many faces do you see? How can 4 persons be claiming that they are NWC? Is that not impunity and madness? Is that not illegality and corruption? Is that not criminality? Now, they claim they have National Executive Council. The same 4 persons, so the National Executive Council, that it is laughable. So, but what I am saying is on the day they were doing that so-called National Executive Council in Bauchi, where they paid a hotel for them, the whole state secretaries and chairmen, we are doing a meeting in the national headquarters of the Labour Party. So these people are just clowns. They are looking for money. And they have been disgraced in the Court of Appeal. And they will be disgraced anywhere they go to. Can you imagine the old man coming to tell you that court said he's now the leader of the party? Meanwhile, he's not even a party to the suit. He is not a party to the suit at all. So you can see the naked lie. At all. Not a party. Even if you give judgment, he will not get any rights. Because every lawyer knows that a court cannot give an order in favor or against a person who is not a party to the suit. So you will see them telling bare-faced lies. And if a man is telling lies at that age, he may continue to lie forever. So the issue here is we are going to replace him at the appropriate time. We're just talking about not wanting distraction. He's been suspended. He's not supposed to participate in any activity of the party. That's what is the most important. We sat in court till today. When my sister, when they were calling me, I was on the road, rush this Zoom. We sat in the court, and when we finish in court at times, we go and start doing meeting. The council to have a meeting to know how to prepare for the next session. So both Saturday, time will come when we'll be sitting even on Sunday. So I understand what you're saying. You'll be replaced at the appropriate time.
Okay, but it needs to be done quickly. There is
no.
There is
what happens
to...
is, yes. What happened is that in Labour Party, why the urgency is not much, we have 3 national deputy chairmen. So it's not as if he's the only national deputy chairman. And the law did not say that any of them is the one who will replace the national chairman if he's not there. It is the National Executive Council that decides who will replace the national chairman. So I understand your urgency. Maybe you thought he's the only national deputy chairman. No. By Article 13.3 AII, we have 3 of them.
I have seen that. I have read through it.
Okay.
But I've seen it. I've read through it. But what I was actually saying is to avoid this public display that the Labour Party should do a wholesome work and root out this weed.
Yes,
root out this weed and make a public pronouncement. I get him, like, bring out a document saying that he is no more a member of their party or something like that. So
okay, let me just come in. Let me come in, Pastor. Thank you so much.
Let me just make this one sentence.
Okay.
My dear, even if you replace him now, it will not stop him from doing what he's doing. Okay. Get the point?
Yeah.
What he's doing is his own trade. He must do it to be paid. So what you do is to defeat him, replacing him.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for coming in. Just for me to also add the fact that, honestly, there's no urgency in Apapa. One of the things we must understand is that when you have a mission, there are many people that are going to bring issues that will distract you. It's a distraction you don't need to put your energy on. We have a case, we have a presidency, a mandate to collect. What is Apapa? He is there for a purpose so that you deviate that 100% energy that you're putting on getting your mandate back to begin to fish him out and begin to do all sorts of things. A lot of people have spoken about, oh, why don't you go on, how do you call it now? Suspend him, he's not worth the energy. You've seen how this has translated, how this has gone in the way that it has gone. And also something is that I don't think anyone has a right to drive anybody away from a party, right? Even if you drive, you come and register, everybody can be there. And there are many Apapas. It's just that they've not approached them for them to be able, if you work on this one, they're going to bring another person that is going to do the same thing over and over again, because it's all about, some people do not have their integrity. Some of them can easily be compromised. So I think at this stage, like the way this thing has played out, it's really what it should be. We shouldn't focus so much energy on that. He's not worth the energy. It's not what the energy being focused on. Let's put that, because they want distraction. Let's put that on ensuring that we are getting our mandate back. I think that will be much more this. Then after getting the mandate back, and then we are now celebrating to prepare and get for swearing in Mr. Peter Obi being sworn in by the grace of God. Then we can now say, hey, what was that issue again? Oh yeah, let's sit down and focus on it. Otherwise, they will achieve their main aim, which is to get people energy dissipated on non-issue. Let's not major in the minor. Let's major in the major, as we've continued to do this whole time. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you, Pastor Blessing. And I think I've been told that I've actually been biased, Mr. Kenneth. There are a lot of people on YouTube whose questions I need to read out. And they're quite a question. Do please, if you are hearing me, are there questions you have from there that can be brought in? I'm trying to go back now and see. So there's Harry Esang who says, what judicial precedents did the Supreme Court use to reinstate Senator Akpabio? So that's something. It's a question that it's in there. Then there's another one. Okay, it's also about Lamidi. No, we can't be focusing our energy on non-issue. Okay, this other one too. Also, you've tried to get it. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back and we'll put the questions together from YouTube and bring it. In the meantime, let's have is it Rose Computer? Rose Computer, please, as we go on later, we have people with real names coming in because we are not sure of this thing. Rose Computer, can you unmute yourself, please? Remember, it's 1 minute. And I'm going to, we use it.
Oh, Aisha, thank you. I will be quick.
Okay, fantastic.
It's me, the guy you met in Virgin. We took picture together in the airport. I don't think it. Let me just quickly.
Okay, well done.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
I'm a lawyer, my learning friend. Excuse me. I'm a lawyer in London. I thank you for taking this time to speak to us today. My question is just short. It's just two questions that is short. I keep hearing everybody saying, Chairman promised, he promised. Please, my learned colleague, does the doctrine of promissory estoppel applies? Second, why is Tinubu not in court? Is he above the law? That is the second one. I think let me just leave it. So I don't want to. And second,
because you have 5 seconds. Yeah.
My last question will be, why has there been always jurisdiction in every court in Nigeria? That is it. Thank you, Aisha.
Thank you so much, and right on time. And then from there, we will move over to Oluwatosin. Oluwatosin, can you please unmute your mic? If you can put your video on, that will also be good. Otherwise, no problems.
Yeah, thank you very much, Aisha, for doing this again. Quite impressive. Well, my question is just centered around the fact that May 29 is around the corner. Now, it's LP fighting, I don't want to sound like someone that has lost hope. But at this time, what is the assurance that this man will not be sworn in? That's one question there. Then what is the plan B from Labour Party, Obedient Movement, and Nigerians as a whole? Because we cannot allow this to go down in history. So what do we have in plan? We won't be the first country to swear in a drug baron. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Oluwatosin. And then we move on to Dr. Anita. Kindly go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Aisha. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can.
Sorry, I'm in a very dark place. You may not see me if I put on my video.
Go ahead.
What I wanted to ask is that thank you so much for what you're doing, Barrister Kenneth. Thank you so much. So good to have you. What I want to ask is now INEC. Dr. Anita. Okay, so INEC is not giving LP the required documents and the EC8A forms. It is obvious to every Nigerian that the EC8A forms have been grossly mutilated. So my question is, if INEC now brings out these mutilated forms, if they are forced to bring them out, are they going to be admissible in court because they are already mutilated? Are they going to compare with the agent and the party has? And the other question I want to ask, does Labour Party have all the actual originals in both in print, soft copy, hard copy? And if INEC brings out the mutilated ones, would they be accepted or cancelled? That's my question.
Okay, we'll move over on the question of whether INEC has all the one. I would say this thing. That question will not be answered. Sorry, Dr. Anita. We're in a public space, and then the lawyers will have their this thing up their sleeves. I'm sorry about that. I'm just using my small tinkling this way I get as the host for this program to say that question. Please stay down on it, Dr. Barrister Okonkwo.
Okay, which question again?
The one on whether Labour Party has all the this thing, all the sheets of all the results
from EC8A.
Yeah, from ECA. Yeah.
So who is teaching you? Who is teaching you? You're not a pocket lawyer. Who is teaching you all this good law, good law?
Now small. Now small they do this thing. Yeah, that's gonna be the answer. That question.
That's the correct answer.
For those that want the answer, we'll just be in court when it's time to do that, and then we'll see that being. Thank you so much.
They want me to reveal our strategy.
Exactly.
So exactly.
Some cannot. I know some of these questions are coming from a good place, but you have to understand there are certain things that you don't put out there. You just wait and get out of this thing. So we have TJ Suni. Please go ahead and unmute yourself. I'm going to take up to, I think I'm going to take like 8 more people up to Chidi. That's the last hand here. I will take that. So go ahead, please. You have 1 minute.
All right. I am very, very glad and privileged to be speaking with you guys and to be in this forum. First and foremost, I'm sorry I can't put on I'm in the car, NEPA.
It's okay.
We don't have light, so
go ahead.
So Mr. Okonkwo, I really appreciate your enlightenment towards this process and your tenacity, both yourself and Madam Aisha. Madam Yesufu. What I want to point out right now has to do with our synthesizing the youth going forward. All right. Now, the war we are fighting right now, we still need to also plan ahead on the long run as regards encouraging people, directing young folks, obedience, to know where to register as per Labour, I would like it or yes. Then secondly, has to do with us forcing the media, because I see the media as a very important.
Your time is up, so quickly round
up. Okay. I see the media as a very important part of this struggle. The effect of investigative journalism is really, really eroded, and I wouldn't know what we are planning to get our own narrative out the right way. Thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. And then we go to So just to hold on a bit, I see our guest has just moved off a little bit, and
no, I'm with you.
Okay, you're with us. Okay, then. Hello, Chuku. You have the floor. Go ahead and unmute yourself, and let's have your question.
Yeah, Aisha, thank you so much. My question to Barrister Okonkwo is, please, there is this issue about the possible runoff. The first person to be in the runoff is the person with the most popular vote, and then the second person is it the person with the highest number of state won? Because there was where I saw the second criteria for the second person, but it's not quite clear. So I don't know if you could help me understand the second person that will take place, that will take the position if indeed there is a runoff.
Okay, thank you so much. So the way we are going to go, we are going to move from Ike to Martin to Nurse Blessing to Chedozie, AVC, and Donna Yemi for now, and then we'll go back to, if we have, that might be the end, but if we still have time, we might be taking more, but for now, those are the things on ground. So Ike, please kindly go ahead and unmute yourself and quickly give your question in 1 minute. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Ike Chuku, and I'm speaking. Oh, okay. Sorry, I have just one question or one or two questions. Now, one of my questions is that when we talk about the legislatures, do they have the right to allocate or allocate money to themselves just anyhow with all impunity? Is it constitutional? Because our American system, I don't see it happening in America, where legislatures just allocate money to themselves at any given point in time, even the presidency. Because even during the COVID, I didn't see the presidency allocating money to themselves, but they allocated money to the citizens, not to the government alone. So and we're just seeing them giving themselves some ease money from, just allocating money to themselves with all impunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ike. I think the next person will be Martin.
Hello.
Hello, Nurse Blessing. Can you hear me? Go ahead and unmute yourself. Go ahead. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
My own question is, good evening, Barrister Ken. Good evening, Miss Aisha. Please, my own question is, sorry, I can't see my video because we're enjoying the APC light here. So my question is there any possibility for the Obedience and the Labour Party or these P2B supporters for us to be able to avoid the media? Because most of these media people, like all these Shehu Kimbala, I must mention his name, the kind of question they ask, sometimes it's alright to be asking question objectively. They'll be trying to find out some words or some.
Hello, Nurse Blessing. So we can't mention his name because he's not here to defend himself. So we can't talk about show you. Well, if he comes here, we can put that out to him. Thank you.
Okay. Let me just go straight to the question. So can we avoid some media houses, because sometimes they'll be looking for a word or a sentence from one of our supporters that they will be using to be castigating or looking for a way to blackmail or paint P2B and obedient movement black. So that's my major question, because I don't like it when they will be bringing our supporters doing with them on television stations.
Thank you so much. I think we've gotten that question. So the next person will be Chedozie. Go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Aisha. Thank you, Barrister Ken. My question is concerned with what is going on in the Labour Party. What Lamidi Apapa is doing. I know it's a court process. And I also know that it might be difficult for you to answer the questions, but the problem is to know that the obedient movement and the good people of Labour Party are a bit concerned about what is going on regarding the court process, regarding the attempt by the Lamidi Papa to kind of mess up the case in court. That is one. That's just a concern. But the main question is the visit of the senators to Abuja and the Labour Party. Again, for me, some people are elated, some people are happy about it, but I'm not quite happy, because all they are saying is that they have the senators. Most of the senators are signatories to whoever puppet they want to put there as the Senate president. We know, of course, that all those are not going to be. But my worry is, do we have control over these our elected senators and House of Representatives? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chedozie. We have ABC. Please go ahead, please. Unmute yourself.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Barrister Ken. I'm sorry, please, I might not be able to use my video.
Go ahead
so I want to ask a question.
What's your name? What's your name?
We refer to the live stream. I'm Mr. Victor. So I want to ask a question. Mine is with respect to the live stream. I'm here that the judgment will be passed on Monday. So what I'm trying to do is not just like preempting the judgment of the court, but I want to know, because I'm going by the updates we've been getting from some of our media outlets. You see that sometimes they pass a wrong information. If not that we have people who are there and they are giving us some live, some of the live updates. You see that some of the media houses, they represent the information or the judgment of the court, or the proceedings rather. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't really know the right word. But some of the caption they give is entirely different from what happened. So what I want to know is this.
Yeah, hurry up.
What I want to know is this. If that will not be allowed, if the live stream will not be allowed, is there a way Labour Party itself can bring its own media outfit to the court? Or if it's banned, does it mean that every group is banned?
I think we've gotten the where AVC is going to. I think I will have to move on. So we've gotten that this thing. Dr. Onanemi, please go ahead.
I did not get. Is he saying, will we bring?
He's saying that can Labour Party now bring their own cameramen and this thing into the court? I mean, if live streaming is not allowed, then how will Labour Party be allowed to now do this thing? So that's the party saying. Dr. Onanemi, please, for those who are coming in, please ask the question. Yes, you can go on and elaborate. So ask the question so that the person knows what the question is. Then you can elaborate for us to understand either where you are coming from or to explain it further. Don't keep doing the explanation without the question itself. It's 1 minute. It's been here. You've been here for over 2 hours now. I'm just seeing that it's after 3. Okay, which is after 9. Is that 9? I'm confused now.
After 8.
Yeah,
you're right.
6 p.m. and you came right even before it was 6 p.m. So please, let's just get it quickly done. Dr. Onanyemi, go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
All right. Thank you very much, Aisha. Good evening, Barrister Okonkwo. My question is exit plan. Do we have a victorious exit plan? We know that we won the election. We have not gone to court to prove that we won the election. We've gone to court to get our mandate. Even the opposition know that we won the election. And given the fact that this man we're dealing with is quite very, very cunning, is a manipulator with a lot of, a high degree of impunity, how are we going to circumvent that when he gets into office? If he gets sworn in on the 29th, this is going to go to Supreme Court. Then what else?
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Onanyemi, for that. The next person we have here, we're going to take the next question.
Taking all these questions,
I want to take two more and stop it. That's it.
Because
some of them, they are the same thing. They are almost the same question. So you don't have to take every one after the other. Those that look similar, lump them together. So, and then the other ones, and just talk two more people, and that's it. Dr. Emiolu and Martin, and that's why I say other hands are coming up now, but we've already put a stop to where the hands will be taken. So, Dr. Emi, kindly unmute yourself, and then Martin.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so much, Barrister Kenneth. I started watching you from when I was in the medical school. I didn't believe I could have the opportunity to talk to you one-on-one. I'm a doctor in Australia. I'm talking to you from Sydney. It's 5:12 a.m. for the love of Nigeria, and I'm going to church tomorrow. Wow. 2 quick questions.
Very lovely.
I've been following, I've been connecting, I've been following this platform, but I haven't been able to talk. Number one is that I noticed they said INEC couldn't give us certified true copies because we haven't paid 1.5 million naira. Ridiculous. I want to know if that is the case, and if I could volunteer to pay, if that is actually an issue. I will transfer the money this month immediately. Number two, I want to beg Aisha. Aisha, thank you for the good work. I followed all the campaigns, and I'm so proud of you. I want to beg you, please, could you bring Lamidi, Papa, trick him to come here? I have about 15 questions. It's one of the ways we could silence him forever. We'll bombard him with questions and bring him to his normal thinking. Trick him to come here, tell him Obedient wants to have a chat with him. He's a member of Labour Party. We want to expose him with certain questions that the media probably are not able to ask him. Those are my two